Hello and welcome to Texans Talk Money. I'm Kyla, your host and a peer financial coach at Texan Smart. Every episode, we will be joined by another peer financial coach from my office, where we will be navigating all the roads on how to handle your money as a college student. So sit back and get your wallets ready to be Texan Smart.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Texans Talk Money. We are so excited to be joined today by our co-host, Addison.
Hey, guys.
I am Kaiten, as I seem to have failed to mention. We are also joined by a peer financial coach from our office, which y'all have heard from before, but we thought we'd bring him on back. Willem, if you want to say hi, if there's anything fun you want to add.
Hello, guys. Nothing fun I can think of today.
All right. Today's topic is one that I don't think anyone is ever stoked for.
I don't think most people think about it until they're like, oh, crap. But we are talking about tackling taxes as a student today.
Scary. No, totally kidding.
Up.
Totally kidding. Not scary. Not too scary. I shouldn't say not scary at all. It's not too scary.
It's an adult thing.
Learning curve. Just got to get adjusted.
100%. So I personally have never filed taxes. I am blessed to have parents that file for me. And so I have never had to go through filing, but I know Willem has a little experience in that realm. So
yeah, because I've never filed either. Willem's the one with the expertise here today, even though he's claimed that there's not much expertise there, which is okay. That's why we're here. That's why we learn.
But we're going to go ahead and start with the basics of filing taxes. So where do we want to start when we go to think about filing?
So our main point that we should start at is you got to gather that income info in general. So you need to collect any of your documents that kind of show how much money you make, whether that be your W-2 from your jobs or your 1099s if you do your freelance work. You'll hear that a lot from people who are self-employed. I'm not self-employed, so I can't give you a bunch of details on it. A lot of them just have fun little numbers, and they mean stuff.
That, or if you have someone that you're working for, I guess, kind of under the table and not so much
under the table sounds so scary.
It does,
and we don't
but it's
mean
really
it like
just like, it's more of in the sense of
like cash payments rather than like a paycheck like you would get as being a student worker or something along those lines. You also, the W-2 is what reports your employee income from the year prior. So you'll get all your information from your employer, your past paychecks, all of that, and get that together to give into your, whether you're using a software like I know some people do, or filing them through people. And I know there's people who file your taxes for you if you're filing them yourself, whatever that may be. But along with that, you're also going to kind of need to know how you're filing. So you're going to have to pick your filing status because that's actually going to affect a few different things for you. So by choosing the right status, that means, are you going to file single? Are you going to be married, filing jointly? Are you married, filing separately? There's a few different options, not too many, but you'll kind of know what you need to do once you hit that point. Like, I know I would file singly. I am not married. The government doesn't particularly care if you're dating someone, unfortunately. They do care if you are married, though, because that is a legally binding, like, obligation feels
contract? Contract's not the right word.
None of these feel right, but y'all know exactly what we mean. These are all just based on your different situations. These affect your tax rate and the different credits you can get for your taxes.
I know. So you were saying that it can change your deductions and everything. So what exactly is deductions?
So actually? Deductions and credits, I always think about like a bank account. Credits, they're like you get paid. Deduction is like a debit you're getting taken out. So your deductions are going to lower your taxable income. These are excuse me, my words are not working well today. You can take a standard amount, or you can list certain expenses like your medical cost or donations if they're high enough that you do for charities and things. And then these will affect how much you actually get taken off of the income that the government can come, quote unquote, come after you for. Your taxable income. Exactly. Your credits are going to directly reduce the tax you owe. That sounds very similar, I know. there's a difference. This is what the lovely world of Webster's Dictionary gives us.
It's for like if your parents are paying for college out of their money, that money that they're paying college with the money that they have, they don't have to pay taxes over that money because it's going to a state institution. So that's what the credit kind of does.
Bada bing, bada boom. This is why we have Willow.
And I know that if you have kids, I don't know why exactly, probably because my parents have me and my sister, but having kids affects your taxes too, because more of you're having to pay for more people to live off of. Correct. Whatever your income is. So it affects how much they're actually going to take or not take from you. I know that much. It'll make your
taxable income less.
Yes.
Depending on how many kids you have.
The government tries to cut us a break here and there.
They try to be a little nice. Like, okay, we'll give you a couple extra bucks here and there. It's okay. It's okay.
Yes. But when it comes to actually filing your tax returns, you're going to use a 1040 form for federal taxes. This is just an official document that all taxpayers have to use. Nothing too fancy, just a number, because the government uses numbers, I'm sure, to make things easier on their end. But then you can normally file online. It's typically faster and more accurate for most of us, but you can also mail in a paper form if that is what you prefer. I'm sure some older generations prefer the paper form because we may be tech savvy, but they aren't always, but that's okay. There are multiple options of being able to file your tax return. Now, when it comes to getting paid or getting your refund, if you owe taxes, if you owe the IRS money from your taxes, you do have to pay by the deadline, which is typically April 15th. Now, crazy things probably have happened and that's changed, but April 15th is typically the deadline that you want to shoot for. So
just to make sure that you get your money back. Or that way you make sure you don't get caught owing a bunch of money and then they come after you like, where's their money at? Because you've been off the grid with this money.
They will come for you. I know some of us here have had the IRS come after them to get some money back, whether they knew it was needed or not. Do you want to share that little insight?
Share your story.
They will send you something in the mail. Because when I was 16, I was working for a guy that owned a bunch of property. He ended up writing a 1099 on me without me knowing because he wanted to not have to pay taxes over the money he had paid me for doing the work around his property. And then later on I got something in the mail, something about me saying I need to pay taxes, and I never filed taxes. Long story short, I had to end up paying money for that and had to pay a fine on top of it for not filing taxes the first time. But I was 16 and didn't know this, and I thought it was underneath the table. But yeah, so I had to pay your taxes.
So see, mistakes happen, and it's gonna be okay. He's here. He's still allowed to go to college. He's still gonna get a job one day.
This is why we have Willem. He has those experiences that nobody else has.
But we gotta stay on top of those taxes.
In the best way.
Yeah, TurboTax is your best friend.
Oh yeah, what are all the different?
Do you know
we were talking about digital ways to file your taxes. I know you said you use TurboTax, but do you know of any other ones?
There's a bunch out there. I know I used TurboTax the past 2 years I filed it. This year I had to use something different because, I don't know. This year it changed up and I couldn't file one of my papers through TurboTax. So I had to use, I can't even remember what it's called. Anyway, yeah, there's a bunch of different websites out there. You can look up places to file my taxes.
Quick Google search will get you those answers.
Hundreds of them.
I would make sure, one thing I will say is I would make sure that they're like, quote unquote, I don't
credible?
know the proper, credible, quote unquote, government approved. So you don't get that lovely little letter in the mail.
If you're seeing regular commercials about them, they're most likely credible, like your TurboTax. Mm-hmm. But do your research, look at the reviews, and make sure that people are actually like either getting their refund or being told that they owe money.
Yeah. I know that from previous times of doing my taxes, it's super easy to actually do it on TurboTax. Took me 10 minutes the first time I filed because your employer should give you all the paperwork required to fill in on the actual TurboTax. You fill all that paperwork in and you click submit, and then once you do that, it'll either tell you if you owe money, you can either put in your debit card information, pay that money, or if you are owed money and you need to be receiving money, it'll tell you the amount that you're receiving and it'll be in your bank account in like 3 days. So
That is if you do direct deposit.
Yes.
I know that you can do like check and thing like that. Checks and things like that. I'm sure there's a bunch of options to that, but direct deposit is obviously going to be the fastest. The government has very easy access to just put that in there.
Yes.
Which is lovely. We love getting our money quicker. On that note, though, as he mentioned, your employer can give you some of those forms, but also keep up with your tax returns and all of your documents for at least 3 years. You never know what crazy thing might happen. I know in the past we've had them send us a thing and be like, actually, we can't remember if you owed us money these 3 years ago. And my parents were like, just kidding, we paid you. We paid you what we needed to. Yeah. And they're like, oh my goodness, you're so right. So keep those documents. 3 years minimum. Honestly, 5 if you want to be super duper safe, I guess.
Yeah.
But
especially if you're filing for the first time, make sure you hold on to anything that could be important for your tax returns, because you don't want to accidentally fill something out wrong and then something's all messed up and you're like, okay, I don't know much about taxes, but I know this isn't right. And you want to have something to look back on and see maybe where you went wrong or where they went wrong.
Yeah. Keeping my documents actually saved me this year because I had to find my tax ID number, in which was on my previous taxes from 2023. From 2022 when I was filing for 2023, and that saved me because I was able to go look back at my documents. And some people like keeping them in the cloud, like on your computer saved. I just like printing them out because I feel like it's a little easier to find them than I have to search through 100 documents and, oh shoot, I forgot what I titled this document. So it is pretty important to keep those.
Keep them in like a water safe bag or whatever in case some crazy flood. I don't know. I just always think worst case scenario, which might not be great.
Keep them in your school backpack, you can.
Oh, right.
Apparently that might be where Willem keeps his in case anybody wants his tax information.
Okay.
No.
So we touched on those deductions, but for students, I know there's more specific deductions for us. Sure. So what kind of deductions are there?
So the deductions that I know of are student loan interest deductions, which are basically like you can deduct up to $2,500 of interest paid on student loans. This deduction is available even if you don't itemize your deductions. So what they mean by itemize is like for people that are on a 1099, you can write things off. Like if you buy a truck for work purposes, you can write that off. So that's what I'm assuming, that itemizing your deductions, so what you're using that money for. And then the other one is lifetime learning credit. This offers up to $2,000 per year for educational expenses and can be used for any level of education. So that's basically saying you're offered up to $2,000 for higher education, higher than high school, of course.
Rewarding you for being so smart.
Yes.
For going to college.
Gotta stay smart. Gotta stay smart. See, that's why you go to college, and you can either get more money, or it will just help you not have to pay as much money, which we all love because we all want to keep our green. We love
it. There are actually a few more that I have heard about. The opportunity credit, which is non-refundable. So it can really only reduce your tax liability to zero. It doesn't do a whole crazy lot, but obviously you can look more into that and see if it applies to you. The American Opportunity Credit, or the ASC, this has an amount of up to $2,500 per year for your first 4 years of post-secondary education. So this is typically going to be your 4 years of undergrad for getting your bachelor's, whatever it may be. Then your eligibility is it's available for students pursuing a degree or another recognized educational credential. That is a mouthful. But the student must be enrolled at least like half-time, so you must be a part-time student bare minimum, not necessarily full-time, but you got to have a little bit. The refundable portion is up to $1,000 of your credit, which means that you could actually receive money back even if you owe zero money on your taxes, which is kind of cool. But talking about all of this, we've talked about when your taxes are due to pay them. So when do you actually find yourself filing for taxes, if anyone wants to inform us?
Tax season begins, like the IRS starts accepting tax returns around mid-January. So the filing deadline, which means your taxes have to be in. So if let's say we're in 2025, we will be filing for the whole calendar year of 2024 in 2025. So you're filing for the previous year, but that's because it's already gone all the way through. So the standard deadline is April 15th or the next business day in April if that falls on a holiday. So that's when you need to have your taxes in for 2024 if we are in the year 2025. And then some people, I know my mom, she does request for an extension just because she's remarried and her new husband has a business, and it's 10 times harder to file taxes if you have a business because there's a lot more deductions and whole other stuff I don't even know about. So I know that my mom can request an extension if you need more time. You can file for a 6-month extension, which is Form 4868, which that's just a number for the government to use. However, if you owe taxes, you still need to pay by April 15th to avoid penalties. So doing the extension just allows you to submit documents later, but you still have to, if you still owe money, you need to pay that by April 15th. And then if you're due a refund, there's no penalty for filing late if you owe a refund. However, it's good to file as soon as possible to get that refund faster. So
everybody wants that money.
Yeah.
Give me my money.
In February, if you're short a little bit and you know you're going to get $1,000 back, file them and you'll get your $1,000 back.
I know. I have a friend who did the math themselves and figured out that they were owed a good chunk of money for a high school kid that
we love money back.
And I was like, how in the world did you figure that out? And they were like, I don't know. I just kind of Googled how to figure it out, and he got back the almost exact same amount that he figured out himself. I'm like, I mean, if you can do that, do it, because then you can kind of keep track of how much you are owed, and then just already be prepared for what you're getting.
Prepare early, y'all. Yeah. It helps you avoid that last minute stress. It helps you maximize
Don't procrastinate it. Don't procrastinate it.
Or minimize your tax bill if you owe money.
Yes.
Just do all your things on time.
Also, if you are expecting that you're going to have to pay money, it'd probably be a good thing to maybe set aside a tax account where you put a little bit of money in each month, or
good
idea. When that tax bill comes, if you are going to have to pay money, you know you already got the money, so it's you don't have to worry about paying. If you have to owe $5,000, you don't even got to worry about it because you've been saving for it for the whole year. So
I will say I hear a lot of adults, I say that like I'm not 20 years old, but a real big kid adult, not just a big kid,
you know? Out of college adult.
Yes, an out of college adult, someone who is not still heavily reliant on their mommy and daddy like I am, and I am loud and proud about it.
Guilty.
As we very well know, say that they sometimes just tell themselves that they're going to owe money, so that way they're more excited about the fact that they get money if they do, but they also put that money aside so that they can save that little bit of money to kind of give them a cushion so they're not as stranded, I guess, if they do end up owing money. It doesn't put them as bad out. So I would say maybe if you're not for sure, maybe save just a teensy bit of money aside, like you said, in a tax bank account or whatever, to kind of cushion yourself so you're not as stressed, shocked, and startled, whatever it may be.
One way that can help, one thing that can help you kind of stay on track and have an idea of maybe I'm going to owe, maybe I'm going to get some, or just being prepared for either one, is staying organized with your money.
Guys.
This is like a universal thing for anything financial. Just stay organized when it comes to anything, especially when it comes to your taxes. Stay organized, because if you are all over the place, you have stuff.
It's okay.
You have stuff online. You have stuff printed out. You have stuff that you maybe didn't save, and you're like, "Ooh, I don't know where to find that." Maybe just find out how to stay organized. So a couple things that you can do is you can track your income and then your expenses. So that's just kind of keeping track of how much you're making and then how much you're having to put out each month for rent, bills, groceries, gas, kind of just depending on what you're having to pay out of pocket for. So you can
we love a budget here.
Yes. Use those budgeting apps. Use a notebook to keep track of how much you're spending.
That's how my mom does it, and it stresses me out personally. But I love the dedication to her for leaving stuff all in a notebook.
Honestly. Especially, as college students who are not 100% sure what they're getting themselves into once they reach to that adulthood of having to pay for things. Like, I know
sometimes we get a little lost.
You get a little out all over the place. So one thing that one of my teachers back in high school told me is use the envelope method. So you kind of just keep you set aside, like, if you know about how much each month you spend on gas, when you get paid or get any kind of money, set it aside in an envelope for that. Set one aside in an envelope for groceries, snacks, maybe going out to eat, having entertainment, and then one that's for utilities bills, and then just kind of miscellaneous or even savings. And that can save you in the long run. And I know I used that when I got my first job, and I was like, this is a lifesaver.
Which I will say, if you're interested in envelope budgeting, we do have an episode a little further up in our discography.
Yep.
Whatever that fancy little word is, y'all know exactly what word I'm trying to say. So go click on that. Maybe give that one a listen too.
And so kind of keeping track with all of your important documents or anything is receipts.
Ooh, I'm a
if you have something keeper. If you have something where you know it's a big purchase or a common purchase, keep track of those. Like Kaiten said, like keep track of your gas
especially
receipts.
If you use it for like business purposes. I'm pretty sure you can use that for
if you're filing underneath the 1099.
Yes.
I know I was in high school, I was able to write off about 50% of my fuel because I kept receipts. And well, that was just up to the lady who did my taxes that year. She said, since I didn't have exactly how many miles I traveled for work, she said, I'll let you write off 50%. And that was 50% I didn't have to pay taxes over.
I was going to say a little bit goes a long way, especially being young, loving to spend money, I guess is the better way to phrase that.
And receipts for medical expenses. Yes. So if you are written a prescription, keep that receipt for like when you pay for it. If you have to go to the doctor because you got a cold and you need to get that medicine, keep track of that because those are things that can get you deductions.
You never know it's going to be a deduction until you read it and you don't have it, and then you're very disappointed that you don't have it. So it sounds crazy. It sounds like a lot, but honestly, it's really not. I keep this sounds hoarderish, I guess, but I keep all my gas receipts like in a binder clip in my glove box.
I love it.
Because I got some not so good gas one time. So that's actually fun fact why I started keeping receipts, because if you keep your gas receipts, there's a whole thing that you can go and get like a refund, whatever. That's completely aside from the point. But those receipts then come back because some of that was business expenses, and you can, like we said, file them, get them reduced.
Speaking of business expenses, if you have a small business on the side that isn't, kind of just you maybe make things for people like custom items, or you are doing a separate side job with someone else, but you're not like filed under them and do the 1099 route. Make sure you keep track of all the money you're getting out of that or you're putting into that, because that's another one of those things that's going to...
You run a business in general, I guess, would
anything.
Be a good way to describe
if you are making money outside of like a government job or state job or like an organized business of sorts.
Yes.
Does that make sense? Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So make sure you're keeping track of that, because the more you keep track, the more you either the less you owe, the more you owe, the more you get, the less you get.
And you don't confuse your personal versus your business expenses, because you file things differently and you also get different types of deductions, as we've kind of touched on. I know we're not going super deep in depth, but we're just trying to kind of cover some
things to keep in mind. And obviously you can do all your own research for your own experiences, and just because not everybody lives life the same. Not everybody has the same amount
100%.
of expenses. Some people are exempt from certain things. So everybody's taxes are going to be a lot different.
But
Nobody's are the same.
These are just some very tip of the iceberg basics that you need to keep in mind to keep you covered.
And then, of course, always keep them safely stored. So those really important things that you maybe don't want someone finding or coming across, maybe hold on and put those in a safe or just in a little lockbox somewhere, maybe like in your closet. Don't have it sitting out in like your kitchen counter or something. Don't have it on your coffee table for display. Like, nobody needs to see that. That's personal for you. Nobody needs to know how much you're making, how much you're getting, taking. Like,
that makes me giggle. It makes me think about my friends who keep their like social security card in their wallet.
It's like, why? Like, you just don't want to keep
stuff safe, guys.
Some of that stuff you want to keep your identity yours.
A filing cabinet, little miniature safe, not
or
like those little ones that safes.
I know you can buy filing cabinets that are fire and waterproof.
Yes,
and they lock, and it'd be perfect for your little college dorm.
That or even
also don't lose the key. Keep it on your key ring.
That or even put it like in a drawer somewhere that you know nobody's gonna touch.
Keep it in your parents' filing cabinet.
That's where all my important
cabinet. That's where mine are.
I just text my mom. I'm like, hey, I need something out the safe. She's like, fine, I guess so. So
exactly.
Wherever you know it's gonna be safe, but you know you can easily access it when you need it, that's the perfect place for it to be.
It always is.
You know, this is kind of off topic, but I think it's kind of funny because we're talking about safe places to store things. When I was a kid,
good anecdote.
This is kind of funny. When I was a kid, I always got ice cream out of my grandparents' deep freeze. But it was like the deep freeze that you gotta like open it up like a chest.
Like the chest freezers, yes.
Yes. And anyway, getting to my point, they kept money in there, but the money wasn't, and it's not like a lot of money. It's just like rainy day fund. If they had cash, and they'd keep it in like your old medicine bottles.
Yes.
I mean they're both a little elder, so they have a lot of medicine. They'd slip it in the medicine can. And that's where they'd keep it. They'd keep it in the bottom of the deep freeze. Hey. And so if you really want to find a great place, because like what burglar is going to look in your deep freeze?
My grandpa kept it in a coffee can in the back of the refrigerator.
That's good. I have some like my extra cash that lays around. I have it in a cookie jar. I just have
craziest things work. I know my oldest brother used to have this like dog that was a piggy bank, but it didn't look like a piggy bank. It just looked like a statue.
Yeah.
And he kept all his money in there.
Hey, whatever works.
Make sure you're kind of checking in on everything, I will say. Check in every few months, every few quarters, whatever. Take a quick look at those finances. Make sure everything's on track. Make sure you have all that information that you need. Whatever it may be, you never quite know. Crazier things have happened than not having a document when you need it. And it's easier to get it every few months, to look every few months and to get it then than to get to April and realize you have nothing.
Yeah, just make sure Uncle Sam and his army of IRS doesn't come after you. So that's
not fun when they do.
Willem has experience. Take it from him. Don't do it. Don't get caught. Don't get caught.
I feel like that had to be so scary, but
I was just 16. I didn't even know what the heck it meant.
That's what I meant. Like being 16, you're like,
this is big
government.
Yeah.
I always get nervous when the bank like sends me things.
Well, I think we've covered about everything. What do you think?
I would have to say that we have covered the basics of tackling taxes, not student taxes.
Tackling taxes as a student. There we go.
There you go.
We spit it out. It's okay.
It takes a few brains.
We're
Willem,
in college.
do you have anything you want to add? We've loved your anecdotes. They've honestly been great.
This is
substance.
great. I'm enjoying this.
Now I don't got anything else to say. Just pay your taxes before April 15th.
Don't get caught.
Keep up with your things. But I think
and don't go looking in my deep freeze.
Those medicine bottles in Willem's deep freeze are not cash, guys. They are not cash. But no, I think if that is it, y'all know the drill. As always, be well, be ready, be Texan Smart, and have a great day.